Good morning, everyone. Let's find our sit bones. Drop nice and tall. Let's do just a little quick check-in and make sure that our hips at the points where our hamstrings attach, called the sit bones, are anchoring down into your cushion or the floor. And then drop nice and long through the spine. Draw that head back a little bit so that the ears are over the shoulders. A lot of times we get really busy in life and we begin to lead with our head. Drop back, and then as if somebody has a hold of a string at the top of your head and is drawing you up nice and tall. Grow up nice and tall. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Filling the belly, filling the lungs, inhaling, let those shoulders soften. They want to come up when you inhale, and then exhale nice and strong through the nose. And then begin inhaling and exhaling through the nose. We're going to go inhale for 4, exhale for 8. So it looks like this. Inhale, 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 inhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going. I'm going to join you. Three more rounds. Keep going. Last round. And return to normal Ujjayi breath. So inhaling, exhaling. And it's as if you can hear the ocean in the back of your throat. So it's just a tightening in the back of your throat as you inhale and exhale. Allow that monkey mind to really lock into watching the breath. Whether it's noticing how the throat tightens, noticing how the air flows in and out, just noticing. And as you feel yourself begin to drop in, nowhere to go, nothing to do, finding those sit bones anchoring a little deeper into the earth. Imagining that root chakra, the base chakra, the color of red, is like a beautiful cord going down into the earth, as if it's a root growing down, down, down into the earth. Imagine that root going to the center of the earth. And I always imagine that this root chakra is wrapping around the core of the earth, anchoring you, grounding you to this time, this space. Breathing it in, breathing it out. So in the next inhale, growing up long in the crown, exhale, let that chin lower down to your chest. No rolling through the shoulders. This is only about the neck. So imagine those shoulders walking down your back, but there's no rolling through the spine. And let the inhale and exhale happen here. You'll notice that it's a little bit more challenging to breathe in because we have that third bandha sort of blocked off. And the bandha is like the hammock. It's the first bandha is your pelvic floor. The second one is the diaphragm. The third one is in the throat, the top of the esophagus. And just notice what it feels like to restrict that airflow. And then slowly draw up through the head on the inhale. Dropping out of your shoulders, and give a slight tip in the chin. No dropping the head back. I don't want to crunch the vertebrae. I just want to open that fifth chakra right here, the throat chakra. Breathe it in. Feel it open. Grow long in your crown. So what's happening as you lengthen through your crown and lift your chin, the neck remains open and the fifth chakra opens, finding our voice. Breathing it in, breathing it out. And then coming right here to center. Nose is at the center, inhaling long through the crown. Exhaling. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling, looking over your right shoulder. So notice if your left shoulder wants to come with you. Just notice, it doesn't matter if it does. The preference is as you draw your shoulder blades together, those are the rhomboids. So whenever we've been told to stand up tall, hold your shoulders back. Those are the muscles that engage to hold their shoulders back. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, feel that root chakra ground down to the earth. Inhaling long through the crown. Exhaling, looking over the left shoulder. Find your breath. Keep breathing even though you're holding the posture. Excellent. Inhaling, drawing your nose back to center on the exhale. Inhaling the hands up overhead. We're going to add a twist to this. So we're going to exhale first to the right, twisting all the way to the right. Looking over that shoulder. Feeling it open in that lower back. Engage that core. Knowing that the core helps support not only the pelvic girdle, but the lower back. And as you engage that core, notice how drawing up through your crown becomes easier. So it's an interesting phenomenon of physics that drawing up through the pelvic floor lifts us through the crown as well. Excellent. Inhaling, drawing those hands up, coming back to center. Exhaling the other direction, opening that spine. Twisting out all of the night's sleep, anything you no longer need. Let it all the way out. Breathing, inhaling. Making sure that you're not leaning back on that back hand, but that you are using it to encourage you to twist. Double check that pelvic floor. Excellent. Inhaling the hands up, exhaling them down. We're moving straight into tabletop this morning. So if you're on a blanket, come off your blanket, move it out of the way. Coming into tabletop, building from the bottom up to the hands, spread your hands wide. Those fingers, there's lots of muscles between the, open them up. Give your hands some space. These hands work really hard, grabbing onto things, holding onto things. Open and release that. Make it the opposite direction. Make sure your knees are underneath your sit bones, and just rock forward a little bit and rock back to open those forearms. Open those arms up, rocking back and forth, giving yourself a little bit of movement here, making circles around the wrist, inviting the body to open. Play with it. See where the body moves naturally. See where it needs a little bit of extra breath. So make sure you're breathing through this, noticing what's happening in the body. Maybe wiggle through those hips a little bit. What does that feel like? What does it feel like just to create a little movement? Now notice how your hands connect to the earth and your knees connect to the earth, and lengthen through your feet and let the tops of your feet connect to the earth. And then draw along in your crown, draw your shoulders back. Imagine I'm coming around and taking a hold of your waist, and then just inviting you to draw your belly button up and take a nice long deep breath in. Exhale any stress. And begin to move, dropping down into cow. Inhaling. Exhaling into cat. Inhaling down. So we're just beginning to warm the body. We're going to move a little bit. We're going to do some balance today. Inhaling. And exhaling. We'll do 3 rounds. I'll let you do them on your own. So find your breath. Slow it down. If you're one that typically moves quickly, slow it down a little more. Excellent. This is the last cow. Inhaling, bringing yourself right into tabletop. And then let's begin with some side movement. Inhaling through your crown, exhaling, looking over your hip. Look for that right hip first. Inhale to center. Exhale, look for the left hip. So this is our lateral movement. You'll notice that as you inhale, you can inhale long into both lungs. And as you exhale to the right, you have a little less space in that right side. It invites the air to leave the right lung. Inhaling and then exhaling to the left. Noticing that you can exhale, letting all the air leave your lung. One more time. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Beautiful. Coming back to center, we're going to curl our toes under. We're going to come into kind of a pseudo half dog and walk our feet forward, coming all the way to the front of our mat into standing forward fold. So give yourself the room to let your knees be bent, because this is the first opening of the hamstrings today. If you need to have a block to help you, blocks are great because it brings the floor up. So you can do it the long way, the short way, or the flat way. Either way. And if you don't have a block, that's okay. Put your hands on your shins. Inhaling, lifting the right toe. Exhaling it down. Inhaling, lifting the left toe. Exhaling it down. So as we walk through this in standing forward fold, notice where you're feeling it. Let the knees be soft as you come back to standing. And then really bend down through those knees. Bend them down. Hands come out in front of us. We're going to come straight up into chair. Sitting right on down into your chair. And then inhaling up and diving forward. Soft knees. Lift to the tail. So it's less about lengthening through the knees and more about lengthening through the tail. So no forcing those knees to straight. Lift that tail up. Let the tail bring the lengthening through the knees. Inhaling, exhaling, sitting down. Inhaling, rising up into chair. And then rising all the way up into tall mountain. Exhaling those hands down. Coming into mountain pose, Tadasana. So let's take a minute here and pause. Feel those feet. Rock back into the full amount of your foot. Lift your toes up. How are you standing in your knees? What I feel in my body is that my knees are sort of knocking together. I'm going to spin the energy as if I'm spinning my knees out to the little toes. And then dropping out of my tail, engaging my core, feeling my belly come up to my spine. Pick those shoulders up, roll them back and down. Feel those shoulder blades come down and lift long through the crown, bringing that neck back over your shoulders. Now your toes are still up in the air. Set the little toe down. Set the fourth toe down, the third toe, the second, and the first. So I can cue you through that. What happens in the body sometimes is the first toe goes down, 4, 3, 2 go down, and then 1. And that's okay. It takes practice. Inhaling those hands up overhead. Exhaling, swan dive down, all the way down. Bend those knees, give yourself space. We're still warming the body. Exhaling, lifting the tail. Little bit deeper into this. Inhaling, coming down, flat back, flat back. And if it's hard for you to get to flat back, let those hands come to your shin and really allow yourself to experience flat back there. This is like standing tabletop. Make sure that your head's not up. Make sure that it's not tucked. Allow it to just be neutral spine. When you hit neutral spine, you feel a lengthening in the back of your neck. Take a nice deep inhale in. Exhaling. Couple more. I want you to really feel the lengthening of this. And on the next inhale, lower back down. Inhaling, reverse swan dive all the way up. Hands meet in the center. Exhaling, coming down center line. We're going to do some half sun salutations. We're going to inhale, circling the hands around. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Big dynamic arms, letting those shoulder joints get some movement. Inhaling, halfway up, flat back. Feel it, lengthen through the crown. Exhaling, down. Inhaling, reverse swan dive. So this is a really nice slow pace. I'm going to talk you through it one more time, and then we'll do 5 more rounds. So inhaling, circling the arms around. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Inhaling, halfway up, flat back. Exhaling, back down. Inhaling, reverse swan dive. Exhaling, hands down center line. So 5 more times. Slow it down. That when I get quiet, the mind naturally wants to go faster. So see if you can let the monkey slow down a little bit. Two more. Last one. Remembering to use your Ujjayi breath. Hands coming to the heart, resting in Anjali Mudra. Feel the results of the movement. Notice how the body is warm. Breathing into Inhaling, circling the arms around, exhaling, swan dive down. We're gonna step our left foot back, coming into high lunge with the right foot. If you need blocks here, you can use it. Staying up on your toe in the back foot here. We're gonna lengthen forward now, square off those hips. Draw that right hip back, left hip forward. Let the knee travel to the little toe. Very important in high lunge that you do not allow your knee to pass your ankle, okay? So head is looking forward. Tip that chin just slightly to give yourself some space in the back of the neck, and then draw your whole body up as if you're coming into a little bit of a back bend. So it's less about this and more about shoulders coming back. That's why this posture is nice if the floor's far away, to bring blocks in. You can bring them in wherever you want. You don't have blocks, that's okay. Do your best with your fingertips. They work fine too. Breathing into it. On the next inhale, we're gonna bring our left arm out in front of us, place it next to the right foot, and inhale, spinning open into a twist. Engage that core, breathe into it. Sink into it, find your breath. And it's really important not to look all directions or you'll get dizzy. Inhaling through those fingertips, exhaling down, stepping that foot straight back into downward facing dog. Be gentle in your dog here. This is our first dog of the day. So walk your feet in. Find your way into dog, whatever. You might have to come out of your lunge to come into dog. That's okay. Inhale up onto both toes. Exhale into that right foot. Inhale into both toes. Exhale into the left foot. Inhale into both toes. Exhale into both heels. Full dog here. Let go of your head. No holding. Or if there is holding, be gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to gently let go. On the next inhale, we're going to slide straight forward into plank. Now, if you need to modify plank, that's fine. Modify it. Feel your bottom come in line with your spine. None of this. None of this. Right in the middle. Right here. 2 more breaths. And then exhale, lowering straight down. Coming all the way down, releasing those feet, press those feet into the floor, and inhale up into just a little cobra, just a little one to start with. Find your breath. Inhaling, exhaling through the nose. Inhaling, curling the toes under. Exhaling all the way back into downward facing dog. Find your dog, find your breath. Slow the breath down. Let's have 4 breaths here. Excellent. On the next inhale, step that right foot forward. That's the one we started with. Right foot forward. Coming back into lunge, exhaling all the way down. Square off those hips. Inhale, step the left foot forward to meet the right foot. Exhaling all the way down. Inhaling halfway up. Exhaling all the way down. This time, bend the knees. Inhaling, hands out in front of you. Exhaling up into the chair, sitting back. Inhaling, rising up, circling those hands around. Find your balance in mountain pose. If you need to open your eyes, if you're a little wobbly, that's okay. Find your breath. Slowing it down. Feel the heat that you've built. Feel those feet connected to the earth. If you need to pick up your toes to reconnect the feet, do that. You can practice setting them down one toe at a time. Find your breath. On the next inhale, inhaling the hands around. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhaling down. Inhaling, reverse swan dive all the way up. Hands meet, come interline, take a pause. And then begin again. Inhaling, circling them around. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Bend those knees. This time, step the right foot back, leaving the left foot forward. Coming into high lunge here. So you might have to wiggle around to find where high lunge works for you on this side. Notice what's different left side to right side. My left side, I can't sink quite as deeply. Sometimes you have more space in the other side. Square off those hips. Maybe wiggle around a little bit. Move forward and back a little bit. Feel that foot begin to open on the right side. Sink those hips down. Notice where you're holding. Breathe into it. Inhaling, bringing that right hand out in front of you, setting it down next to your left foot. Engage your core and spin open. Finding your breath. Nice little twist. Make sure that your core is engaged. Breathing into it. Inhaling, reaching through that left hand, sinking back down, stepping that left foot back into downward facing dog. Whatever it looks like for you to find your dog. Soften those knees, sink back into it, lift through the tail. Let your heart travel to your knees. Let go of that neck. Breathe into it. Inhale, press through that right heel. Inhale, soften the knees. Exhale, press through the left knee. Inhale, soften through the knees. Press all the way through those heels, lifting through the tail. Give your full downward facing dog. On the next inhale, slide forward into plank. Exhaling, lowering straight down. Lengthen through those feet. Inhaling, drawing up. See if you can deepen this cobra just a little more. Not a super deep one yet. Draw the shoulders down. Elbows are close to the body. Inhaling, turning the toes under. Exhaling, pressing all the way back into dog. Find your dog. Find your breath. 4 breaths here. Excellent. On the next inhale, lift that left leg, lengthen it all the way through, back into high lunge. Feel that lunge one more time. Bring the right foot to meet the left foot at the front of the mat. Exhaling, dropping all the way down into forward fold. Inhaling, halfway up, flat back. Exhaling down, bending those knees, hands come out in front of us. Exhaling up in the chair. Inhaling, rising up. Exhaling those hands down into Tadasana. Nicely done. Breathing into it. Feel the movement of energy. Feel the heat that the body has created. Feel your feet connect to the earth. Notice what's happened. Have we dropped back into our old patterning? Maybe engage the quads. Draw your kneecaps up. Soften out of the hips. If your hips are tight and you're clenching, see if you can soften those hips. Engage that pelvic floor. Draw that belly button in. Beautiful. Breathe in. So on the next inhale, we're going to begin to pour into our right foot. So pouring into your right foot, we're going to lift through the left foot. Now let your toes touch the floor for a moment here. We're going to inhale our hands up, shoulder level. So as if we have a shelf in front of us. And then we're going to bring the knee to match that right here. Engage your core, square off your hips, find a point to look at. Be mindful of what's around you, because if you start to wobble around, you want to make sure you are safe. Breathing into it, find a point to look at. And from right here, in one movement, we're going to slide straight back. Hands go with the leg, and we're going to come tipping forward. Standing Superman. And if you come out of it, that's okay. Just go back into it. What's happening in your body. Find your breath. Breathe into it. And inhaling, coming back to standing. Release that other foot that you were standing on, the right foot. Shake out the foot, shake out the leg. Step wider than hips, circle it around. I love to give all the joints a little bit of extra movement. They're made to move. Our joints are there so that we can have movement. But it's good to build strength around them to support us. Coming back into mountain, find your full mountain pose. Inhaling, pouring into the left foot. Lifting into that right knee. Hands come to parallel. Finding, is this side easier or not so much? It doesn't matter, just notice. Breathing into it. And then exhaling. Balance and movement, always a great exercise. Find your breath. Exhaling, coming back to standing. Shake out that foot. Wider than hip distance. Give yourself some circles. If you go one way, go the other way. Go both directions. We always have a side we prefer, and that's okay. The work comes in the side that is less our preference. The side we prefer less is the side that we get to work on. So circling around one more time, we're going to come back to standing in mountain. Find your full mountain. Feet are underneath, right directly underneath your hip bones. That's the pointy part here. Just line it up. Second toe should be right underneath it. Engaging that core, dropping out of the tailbone. Shoulders up, back, and down, going long in the crown, bringing those ears over your shoulders. Hands are facing forward, mountain pose, Tadasana. Take a breath. Feel those feet sink into the earth. Lift your toes up. This is such a great exercise. It's so simple, yet very challenging. Just stand on the foot without the toes. Our toes are all about balance and trajectory, moving forward. So little toe goes down. Can you stand on the 4 points of your foot with just the little toe down? Breathe into it. Now the fourth toe. And if all the rest of your toes go with it, that's okay. Pretend like it's only the fourth toe. And then the middle toe. And then the second toe. And then your big toe. Now, as they touch the floor, make sure they're softly touching versus gripping the floor. You'll notice if you're hanging on for dear life, if you grip your feet to the floor. That's an energetic sign of hanging on. What would happen if we just softened into the experience? Now, soften your gaze into the room. Find your point of focus, your drishti point. Pour into your right foot. Raise that left knee up. Hands come up. Notice what it feels like to support yourself on the right side of your body. There might be movement. Notice if your toes begin to clench. Breathe into it, soften them. One more breath, and then inhale and exhale and move that leg behind you. Find your breath. Find your core strength. Notice what's happening in your leg. Lengthen through your crown, soften your shoulders. Breathing into it. 2 more breaths. And last one, coming back to standing. Give that ankle some love. Give it some circles. Let the knee be part of those circles. Circle it the other way. Then step it wide. Let the hip come into it. Then really get the low back into it. And then reverse it. Low back, hips, knees, ankles. You can really feel every single joint. Coming back to mountain pose. Do your little checklist. Start at your feet, build up. And then as you're ready, pour into the left foot. Draw that right knee up. Hands come up, breathing into it. And on the next inhale, as you exhale, travel back. Your drishti point changes in this posture. So that's movement and balance. Two more breaths. And inhaling, coming back to standing. Start with the ankles, circle it out. Reverse it around. Bring the knee into it. Good job. Step wider than your hips. Bring your hips into it. Reverse it the other way. Excellent. Coming back to center, finding your mountain. If you're not at the top of your mat, go to the top of your mat. Hands down beside you, coming into full mountain. Check in. Feet, legs, tailbone, hips, elbow, elbow. Add belly button to your spine. Palms facing forward, drawing those shoulder blades down, lengthening through your crown. As you lengthen through your crown, you might feel a natural inclination of that head drawing back. Find your breath. Inhaling, hands up overhead. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Bend those knees all the way, stepping straight back into downward facing dog. Find your dog. Inhaling, exhaling. See what it feels like to be in dog, letting go of your head. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Just a nice, strong, connected, downward facing dog. 2 more breaths. Excellent. Inhaling and then exhaling, sliding forward into plank. Make sure that your hands are underneath your shoulders. The belly is strong. The core is engaged. This is a great core posture. And if you need to modify before we go down, do that. Exhaling, lowering straight down. Lengthen through the right foot and lengthen through the left foot. Feel that core engage as the pubic bone presses down into the earth. And when that happens, lengthen through your crown, roll those shoulders back, elbows are close to the body, and then you naturally begin to want to rise up. And so this is level 1 right here. This might be it. Level 2, engage the latissimus dorsi. Those are your back muscles, the erector muscles, all the spine stabilizer muscles of the back. And then level 3, if you feel super strong, make sure that core is engaged. Lift all the way up into cobra. Breathing into it. And then lowering halfway down. Find your breath. And then lowering all the way down. And tuck your chin, let your forehead touch your mat. Let go of everything. And then re-engage, lengthening through the right foot, lengthening through the left foot. Shoulders are back and down. Engage your core, feel that pubic bone press to the earth. And then begin your lift up, rising up through the crown, coming into a cobra. Now, if your core is on vacation, I promise this will hurt your low back. So don't go too high if this is too challenging. Wherever you are, might be right here, might be right here. It doesn't matter. It's what is really most important is that you listen to your body. Listen to what it's telling you. Breathing into it. 2 more breaths. Last one. Inhale, exhale, press all the way back into child's pose. It's really nice here to open your knees so that you can sink even further back. Sinking all the way back. Child's pose is good for those who are okay in the knees. If you have knee issues, make sure and just don't go as deep. Sometimes child's pose for those with knee injuries looks like puppy. Look at this, and that's okay too. Find your level, what works for you. So here we are in wide open leg child's pose, sinking down. And on the next inhale, walk your hands to the right. And then exhale all the way down into child's pose. You're going to feel this underneath your left arm. Breathe into it. You're going to notice that the left lung gets more air. The right lung doesn't have quite as much capacity because that's the side that is being cinched down. Inhaling, walking back to center. Two breaths. And then on the next exhale, walk to the left. Feel that open underneath the right arm. Breathe into it. Find your Ujjayi breath. Breathe fully into it. Excellent. Inhaling, coming back to center, coming up through, passing through tabletop as you find your way to lying on your back. Sometimes people like to do a whole nother vinyasa, and if you want to do that, you may. It's okay. Rolling all the way down on your back, bringing those knees in with you if you want. Just do a little movement to see what it feels like to be on your back. Bringing those knees into your chest, giving a little space through the low back, rocking those knees, rocking them side to side. When you rock your knees side to side, open the legs a little bit and really feel those legs kind of rock opposite of one another. This gives that low back, that sacrum, the very bottom muscle of the spine, bone of the spine, a little bit of a massage. And then come to the center and let those knees come down onto the floor. Now, go ahead and get yourself all flat on the floor. If you have to wiggle around, get your clothes out of the way, do that. Walk your feet in close. Scoop your shoulder blades underneath you, creating a nice flat platform. Hands come flat beside you, working into the floor. So the work here is through your feet and through your hands and supporting on your shoulder blade. So lengthen through the crown, If you need to give yourself a little bit of encouragement through that neck, you can do that just to give yourself the sense of growing long. Engage that core. As you engage the core, you'll feel your back flatten against the floor. Take a nice deep inhale. And on the exhale, press through the feet. No engaging of the hip muscles. So let those gluteal muscles be soft. See how high up you can go. And if you're hanging on to them, see if you can let them go, even just barely off the floor. I'm like less than a half an inch off the floor, but my glutes are soft. That's all the further we're going to go, is pressing through the feet, lifting through the core, softening through the shoulders, lengthening through the crown. Breathe into it. The work is in the feet. And if you find yourself clenching across the rump, let it go. Soften it. Now, lowering down from here, one vertebrae at a time. And I don't have far to go because I have a lot of tissue on the back side of my body. So lifting up, I feel like I've got my bones a foot off the floor, but my fanny is really close. That's okay. So inhale, engage that core, press through the feet, soften out the glutes. Are they hanging on? Mine are. What does it feel like if we soften those glutes? And keep the pelvic floor engaged. And then rolling down again. So those first two were not very deep. We're going to go into the deeper bridge posture this time. Inhaling, engaging that pelvic floor. Exhaling, pressing through the feet. Engage your glutes, lifting up as high as you can go. Scoop those shoulders in. If you have the space, you can grab your hands underneath and walk all the way into bridge. Lift up, draw up to that pelvic floor. And as if I'm coming around and taking a hold of your hips, imagine my hands on either side of your hips, just giving you a little encouragement to lift a little deeper. Make sure you're breathing. Find your breath. Always looking at the ceiling here. Because I'm talking, you naturally want to look towards where the talking is coming from. Keep looking straight up, protect the neck, pressing through the feet, breathing into it. On the next exhale, lift a little higher. Challenge yourself, go a little deeper. On the next exhale, one more time, a little bit deeper. Lift up, lift up, lift up. Lift, lift, lift. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And on the next exhale, gently begin that journey back down, rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Like the toes, sometimes all the vertebrae come together. Release those knees to the chest. Close your eyes. Tap into that energy. What's the body needing at this point? Follow it. What your body needs versus what the next person's body needs is different. So keep your eyes closed. Let this become an internal journey. You might need another bridge. You might need another downward facing dog. Some people love shoulder scan. Do what your body needs. It will tell you if you listen. Breathe into the experience. When we get out of the way of our thinking mind, this is called meditation in motion. There's no right way for it to look. That's why keeping your eyes closed allows it to be an internal journey. When we open our eyes, it becomes an external journey. Remember to keep your breath. So we're going to be with meditation and motion for about 5 more breaths. Slow them down. There's no rushing through these last 5 breaths. If anything, find where you can slow them down. And as you come into the last 2 breaths, begin the journey of coming to knees rocking at the chest. Side to side, really pull those knees in close to the ab. It gives you a really beautiful massage in the belly, allowing it to rock back and forth. Excellent. And then keep the right knee in and lengthen out of the left leg. Draw that right leg across the body. Engage that core as you go. Do it slowly. This is not a quick twist. This is a nice slow twist. Feeling it first in the hip, then through the spine. Opening that right arm, looking towards the right arm. Now, if you need to, you can pick those shoulders up, flatten them down. The little micro movement adjustments are what change this posture. Breathing into it. Engaging the core, inhaling, drawing that knee in, rolling out of it. You can just invite that leg open and then back to the center, lengthening down. And then find yourself wiggling around to be flat on your back. And just touch into Shavasana so you can feel the difference from the left side to the right side. What does that left side feel like versus the right side? Just notice. Inhaling, drawing that left knee in. Pull it in close to the body. One of the reasons I love to pull it close to the body is it gives such a nice massage to your internal organs. So on the left side, that's your descending colon, which is really important in the morning to really allow for elimination to happen. So begin the twist, first feeling it in the hip, engaging in the low back, in the core, and then opening up that arm to the left, looking to the left, nice deep twist here. Breathing into it. Feeling the body beginning to cool. Inhaling, nose to center. Drawing that knee back up. Coming out of it. Opening it just slightly. Releasing it down. Again, you'll have to wiggle flat on your back. Bringing your feet straight down. Drawing your hands open. And noticing if Shavasana feels really delicious. If it does, stay here. If not, if you need to wiggle around a little bit more, then do that. If your body's calling for one more thing, then honor that. It's always important to honor what the body needs because it will tell you. So as you come into Shavasana on this fine day, feel your body soften all the way into the earth. Notice how that root chakra is still connected. And it's your choice. You can leave the root chakra connected to the earth if you're needing more grounding throughout the day. Or you can feel it soften and come back to the body. Feel your back body fall to the earth as the shoulders let go. And the eyes grow heavy. And the mind slips between here and there. Listen. Love laughs at fear. Can you hear it? And fear fades in the face of laughter. Let nothing distract you from the fact that fear will grow if you feed it and shrink when you pay it no heed. There, see? Fear disappears and leaves love laughing. And gently begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Knowing that Shavasana is always a welcome place to remain until you're ready, but if you're ready to come out, come back to now. Roll to your side. Hands at your heart. Namaste.